Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Two in Love, here with another edition of Sorts of the Topics. Boy, we got a bunch to talk about on the podcast, but I'll try to get as much into it as fluidly as possible. But yeah, it's a good time for sports in general. It's the season, really, with baseball, basketball is now back, hockey is back. We're in the midst of the NFL season. Um, just got a bunch to go over, give predictions on the UFC pay per view as far as this weekend. Um, yeah, we got a hell of a lineup for this episode. Before I get into it, for my pro wrestling fans, if my apologies for not doing a AEW review last week, but with the AEW being on Tuesday, I will be doing a review tomorrow for the episode that was on Tuesday. So, don't worry, sorry about that, my pro wrestling fans, but you will get an AEW review this week. But yeah, as far as this episode is concerned, good lineup. First, might as well start off with this. Down to the final four. Down to the final four in baseball. Yankees, Astros, Phillies, Padres. Now, I bet if you told someone like a month ago that this was going to be the final four in baseball en route to the World Series, I don't think many would have believed you. I mean, Padres didn't really meet expectations, I think, to people when they traded for Juan Soto from Nationals, but alas, here they are, beating the Mets and the Dodgers. Phillies, Phillies have come far their way as well. Have been a very good story. Were had a losing record before ditching their head coach, going with Rob Thompson, and now not only do they have a winning record, not only is he their full-time coach or manager, but they're a couple wins away from the World Series after beating the Cardinals and the defending World Series champion Braves, Atlanta Braves, their rivals. You know, the Astros continue to be there. Obviously, their lust is tainted because of the scandal a couple years ago. But they're so amiss. After sweeping the Mariners, a young Mariners team. And that division was all weird this whole season with the Angels, the Mariners. I mean, was just strange. Then, last but not least, you have the Yankees. And with the unanimous, pretty much MVP, Aaron Judge, with 62 homers, you know, can they get it done? You know, them making the World Series should just be basically the biggest. I mean, getting 62 was already the exclamation points for Judge be MVP. But, you know, for the Yankees, it would just be these sweet moments for not only Judge be MVP, but then make the World Series. You know, my pick is Yankees, Phillies. Obviously, I was holding out hope for a all New York World Series with the Yankees and Mets, but you know, I said Phillies seem like a good sleeper and rattle off the wins against Cardinals, rattle off the wins against Braves, and they are a couple wins away. You know, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. Excuse me. Kyle Trostny, I believe that's his name, has shown good power as well in batting. They are really well as a team. So, but, you know, Padres are getting it done too. So, we'll see. We'll see. But talk about a heck of an unexpected Final Four for see who's the one to lift up that World Series trophy in the end. UFC 280. UFC 280 is a mess on Saturday with 3 marquee fights at the tail end in Abu Dhabi. It's fairly interesting, these 3 fights. Now, for a casual fan, I get it. These aren't great fights, but as for a solid fan of the UFC, you look at these 3 fights and you're like, damn, something's gonna go down. And I'm excited to see what goes down. But 1 second, I have to get a drink. But yeah, first off, let's go over it. Peter Yan, Sean O'Malley, The Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley. In the bantamweight division, 135. Talk about a big fight. You know, obviously, excuse me. Sean O'Malley's fight with Pedro Munoz was stopped prematurely, I believe, due to an eye poke. And, basically, Munoz, based on what was said by O'Malley and such, he thought Munoz gave up. And, really, now O'Malley, basically after that incident, getting rewarded, and, O'Malley's still tough. Both are still tough, Munoz, but now O'Malley's getting his biggest test to date against Peter Yan, the former UFC bantamweight champion. Obviously, he lost the 2 fights against current champion Aljamain Sterling, but now Yan looks to right the course for Sean O'Malley. If Sean can finish Yan in great fashion, whether it's Sterling or Dillashaw, Sean O'Malley can certainly put himself right there in the getting the next shot at the bantamweight strap. Currently, I'm going with Sean O'Malley, but I don't think he'll be easy. I think Sean has some unique striking, and, you see, we'll both have great striking. That's the problem. And Yan has shown good wrestling as well. It's going to be a unique experience. I think perhaps this goes to a decision. Weird thing to say, but I think it does. I just think it does. And I'm going O'Malley in this department. Co-main event. Speaking of it, for the bantamweight title of the world, Aljamain Sterling makes his second title defense against TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw in his second fight after obviously coming off suspension had a great fight back against Cody. I forgot his last name, but was a great first fight back. Now, right away, he's being tested again against for the title. He basically lost, but had to regain. Now he looks to regain it again against Aljamain Sterling. And Aljamain is a unique approach because he has some good wrestling. He has some good submissions. He has those weird long limbs, which he can use for kicks and strikes. I mean, but Dillashaw, we've seen time and again. He can catch you and he can fish you, whether it's, elbows, kicks, knees, punches. I mean, Dillashaw has done it before and before again. I think it may be a bit too soon, though. I mean, I'm going with Aljamain Sterling in this. I mean, I think, he's on. I just think Sterling's in his moment right now. I don't think. I just think it's a bit too soon for TJ yet to get the title back. Main event for the vacant UFC lightweight title 155. Charles the Bronx Oliveira facing off against Islam Makhachev. Now, both guys are on very good win streaks. Obviously, Oliveira's fought the better of the competition, I mean, was stripped of lightweight title in his last fight for missing weight by a pound against Gaethje. So won, so the title is vacant, but I mean, Oliveira's just been on a tear, Kevin Lee, I mean, Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje. I mean, the list is on and on for him. And, Oliveira, I mean, he can submit you anywhere, pretty much. Once he has a hold of your neck, seems pretty explanatory. Makhachev, though, is interesting because, like his cousin Khabib, he has a solid ground game and can submit you as well. And, he has been knocked out before, but basically anybody hit with the right shot in the right place can go down. Oliveira, though, as we've seen him more his last couple of fights, his striking is not to be messed with. He has shown good striking to help set up his jiu-jitsu. And that's been really aid in his Chandler fight. Definitely his fight with Gaethje and his fight with Poirier. But, I mean, with that, I gotta go with Oliveira. Get another win. Hopefully, he makes weight this time. And they give him the title back. But we'll see. Will be an interesting test for both guys. To say the least. The NBA is back. The NBA is back. And it's good for basketball to be back in general. Done with the preseason. But, yeah, basketball officially returned the other day with both teams from the NBA Finals getting wins in opening day. The Celtics over the 76ers, despite a 35-point game by James Harden. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum combined for 70 points. Combined. En route to a victory. The Warriors also had good success being LeBron and the Lakers. The Warriors, I mean, obviously, the good news surrounding the offseason is them extending Wiggins and Jordan Poole. The bad news, obviously, was the scuffle between Jordan Poole and Draymond Green. If they can just look back or not look at this funny business and are able to move forward with their locker room, because really, they're already a playoff team, and with the roster, they definitely have the happenings to make another deep playoff run. But we'll see. And some notes regarding the games on Wednesday. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday, but either way, the rest of the games. Rudy Gobert, who is part of the biggest trade of the NBA offseason, traded from the Jazz to Timberwolves for a number of players and 4 first-round picks, has solid impacts in his first game as a Timberwolf against the Knicks, as it was either the Knicks or the Thunder, but either way. And a victory for the Timberwolves. 23 points, 16 rebounds, 16 for the former 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. So good for him. Donovan Mitchell, the other former star Jazz player, had a solid day in his first day as a Cav. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Over 30 points and a loss. That looked good in his first game. The leading scorer, the one with the most points, because we did have a trend of $50-pointers and even of some 50-pointers last season. But leading score as of the first couple nights was DeMar DeRozan with 37 points, for the Bulls and a 10-point win. I mean, hopefully they can be healthy. But yeah, I will have to say an upset though, as the New York Jazz did beat the Denver Nuggets by 10. By 10. Being the back-to-back MVP. And Nikola Jokic. Yeah, that was certainly the upset of the first number of games, the first couple of days. But yeah, some good notes as far as first string of games. We'll see how it goes as we venture more into the NBA season. Of course, the NHL is back as well. Good for hockey, good for cold sports, good for this season. Gonna start getting colder, and thus hockey season is brewing. The New York Rangers won. Philadelphia Flyers won. So, Philly, the Eagles won. The Steelers won last weekend. Flyers won, and the Phillies are 1-1 in the semifinals for the World Series. So, a lot of optimism in Philadelphia. I would say, although the 76ers did lose, but optimism in Philly. The New Jersey Devils had a good win as well. Credit to them. I believe they got a new coach. I believe this season, or was it last season? But either way, good for them. Yeah, some good stuff. Now, good chaos. Some good chaos in college football. Talk about a chaotic weekend of college football. A good weekend, college football. Nothing bigger, though, than Tennessee, the Volunteers, beating the Crimson Tide an absolute classic, 52-49 in Tennessee. Was a great scene after the game. So much so that they took the goalposts, one of the goalposts, and threw it in the river. Tennessee, great for them, great for the Volunteers. Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt, studs, just studs. What that offense did, bar none. Give credit to Bryce Young and the offense of the Crimson Tide, because it was only a 3-point game, but Tennessee got it done, and they're now in the top 3 currently of the college football rankings. It's going to be tough sledding, obviously, for the Volunteers now to make the playoffs, but this was a good character building win for Tennessee. To beat the Crimson Tide, a top 5 team at the time, and now be thrusted into not only top 3, but Hendon Hooker is definitely entrenched in the Heisman conversation for this year, with C.J. Stroud, with Blake Corum of Michigan, with, say, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I'll include Caleb Williams in there as well. I mean, even the running back of UCLA, I would include as well. But, it's been stellar. It's been very good. And, like I said, Tennessee would likely have to go through Georgia and Alabama again just to make the playoffs. But great win for Tennessee. Great win for the Volunteers. Utah handed USC their first loss this season. The Trojans, their first loss. Another very good quarterback battle between Cam Rising and Caleb Williams. And in Salt Lake, Utah got it done, winning 43-42 off a gutsy last minute 2-point play, and they got it done. And USC is in the top 10, or no longer in the top 10. Utah is back in the thick of things in the top 15. The Pac-12 is very interesting right now, especially because this weekend we got a key game that could decide things between Utah UCLA and Oregon that could very well help decide things for the Pac-12 championship. I mean, it's going to be tough sledding for a team to make the playoffs, but the Pac-12 is not to be messed with. Not to be messed with right now. I don't think so. I don't. Michigan steamrolled out Penn State. Penn State did make some good plays, but Michigan is just continuing to get better and better. They're top 5 for a reason, and last season when they steamrolled Ohio State, it came as a bit of a surprise, but at the same time not a surprise. But now it seems like if they were to face Ohio State again, or if they were to beat Ohio State again, it wouldn't come as a surprise. Now, CJ Stroud has had a hell of a year, hell of a season thus far. But if the Wolverines were to beat the Buckeyes again, then yep. When come as a surprise. NFL Week 6 was another. Now it's the caveat. Now it's the big part. So let's get into it. First off, NFL Week 6, another heck of a week for picks. With some strange games with some unique outcomes, but was a fun flooded week. Commanders beat the Bears 12-7 Thursday night. Talking about a strange game. Carson Wentz suffered a fractured finger. Will be out at least a month. But they got it done. Good for Brian Robinson. Wasn't that long ago you shot twice in the leg, but last he got his first NFL touchdown last week, and good for him. Bears had their chances to win the game late, but didn't capitalize. Falcons be injury riddled for an IFC. Falcons are getting it done. You do have to give them credit for that. They're competitive. Patriots beat the Browns 30-15. They're getting done as well. Yeah. Jets beat the Packers 27-10. Brees Hall is a stud. Ahmad, Sauce Gardner wearing the cheese head at the end of the Packers game in Lambeau. I mean, just crazy. Moved to 4-2. What was a very good game. Colts beat the Jaguars 34-27. This was the first game of the season where I thought Matt Ryan looked like Matt Ryan. So, very good for him. Jags offense played very well. It just, at the end, they couldn't make stop when they needed to. And was a great throw and catch to Alec Pierce, who has continued to make plays for Colts week by week. I like to see. Vikings beat the Dolphins 24-16 despite the hostile heat and me predicting the score correctly 24-16. Yep. Despite Teddy coming in and playing his butt off, still the Vikings defense has came alive and they got it done. Bengals got much in win and really what catapulted their run or started their run really, or Joe Burrow really put his name on the map. And New Orleans as he and Jamar Chase continued their success as they won 30-26 over the Saints. Giants moved to 5-1. Rally back from being down 10 points in the fourth. And they continued to pile up wins 24-20. And they're 5-1. Talk about a stunner. Steelers were down 8-point dogs. And they beat the Buccaneers 2018 at home. Kenny Pickett went out. Mitchell Trubisky filled it nicely. They got it done 2018. Frustrated Tom Brady. Rams got back on track. They won 24-10 over the Panthers. First time they looked like a well-oiled machine, I think, this season. Seahawks beat the Cards 19-9. So, I like Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is another guy, another rookie, who is penciling his name for Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's getting done. And what was the most anticipated game of the weekend as far as the NFL? Bills in Arrowhead beat the Chiefs 24-20. Rally back, got it done. Von Miller, 2 sacks. He is really continuing Von Miller, and it's good to see. The Eagles end Cooper Rush's streak. They won 27-26-17. You know, it was 23 at the half, but Cowboys made a push. It was 2017, but Eagles pulled ahead. Got the and Chargers won in overtime, 19-16 over Broncos, and got it done. Got it done. So Chargers, Chiefs tied 4-2 in the AFC West. See what happens. See what happens. Now it's time. Now it's time. Let's get into it. Week 7 predictions. Let's go. Let's go. Saints at Cardinals to start week 7. Cardinals 2.5 point favorites. Talk about good news, bad news. Good news for the Cards. Marquise Brown will be out for an extended period. But they traded for Robbie Anderson. They just got back DeAndre Hopkins off suspension, 6-game suspension. They need something to couple that offense. For the Saints, it's just bad news. So, Andy Dalton apparently suffered a back injury against the Bengals. No Michael Thomas, no Jarvis Landry, no Adam Troutman. I mean, out a bunch of your playmakers for this game. I mean, the Cards are going to right the ship. Now is the time. 27-23. Cardinals get the dub. Browns at Ravens. Ravens 6-point favorites. You know, the Browns do not play like a 2-4 team. That's for certain. They have made mistakes. They should be at least 4-2. Their record should be flipped. For the Ravens, you know, they've had double-digit leads in all 3 of their games late, and they have lost them all. Thus, this is a tricky game. This tough game to predict. I mean, 6 points. Against this Browns team, if they can just continue to run the ball with Chubb, Hunt, throw it to Njoku and Cooper. This seems like a unique game. Um, I'm gonna say the Browns get it out though. 22-17 of the Ravens. 11-point favorites. Buccaneers at Panthers. Really 11-point favorites. I mean, the Bucks, if you take out the Kansas City game where they lost, they have scored in the low 20s, if not the high teens, every game. Every game. I mean, it's feel like a low scoring game. You know, perhaps being in Carolina, perhaps getting rid of Robbie Anderson, the new coach may help instill some life in them. So, tell me I love you, Tom Brady, but do more. But I'm picking the Panthers 17-14. Feels strange, but I'm doing it. Falcons at Bengals. This feels like an interesting sleeper for game of the day. Bengals 6-point favorites. Despite no Cordero Patterson for the time being, Falcons have still been able to run the ball. And Marcus Mariota, it's not been perfect, but he's doing well. And he's doing enough to keep his job away from Desmond Ridder. Now at home, after getting their win, I mean, AJ Terrell versus Jamar Chase. That's going to be a fun matchup. On the other side, though, it's going to be interesting to see how T. Higgins and the rest of the crew pair up to take down the Falcons. I would say, though, 24-17. Bengals win and slightly cover. Lions at Cowboys. Cowboys 7-point favorites. Dak should be back. It sounds like Lions, we're the number one ranked scoring team offense coming into the Patriots game. They didn't score a point. Now, what's been aiding the Cowboys thus this season? Running game and defense. So, right away, strength for strength. Will the Lions offense come back, or will they have another sour week for, say, tough Cowboys defense? I mean, this will seem like a grindy, gritty game. I'm going with 20-14. Cowboys win. Lions barely cover. This is a little, well, not so surprising. Giants at Jaguars. Jaguars 3-point favorites. I mean, Jaguars had a very good plan on offense last week. They were able to run the ball very well, whether it was Hasty or James Robinson or ETN. They were able to run the ball well against the Colts. Trevor Lawrence didn't have to do a lot, but they were able to push well and run the ball. Giants, you know, the thing is, kind of similar to the Cowboys. You know, Daniel Jones has not had to do a lot. Clearly, he's been able to do well, pass the ball well. He's run the ball very well. Both him, Saquon, you know, the defense has been playing stout. So, interesting to see how the trenches go. I just feel like Jags, lot losing streak, win streak, you know, is something gonna end? I don't know, but I'm going with Jags 28-24. In Duval. Colts at Titans. Titans 2.5-point favorites. Matt Ryan played very well. Give him that against Jags. But The reality is this season thus far has been most on Matt Ryan. The running game has not been existent. Jonathan Taylor's been dinged up, not been who he was last season or the season before. Alpha by Derrick Henry, them run the ball, calm it down. 24, no wait, 26, 23, Titans win. Packers at Commanders. Packers 5-point favorites. 1-6. Oops. Sweet. Sorry, 1 second. I mean, I cannot trust the Packers right now. Tail Heike. I'm going with the Commanders 2016. Like I said with Brady, Rodgers. Turn around. You have to trust these kids. Trust the offense, and things will change. But I don't know. Jets underdogs first the Broncos. Underdogs first the Broncos. I'm going with the Jets 21-14. Endeavor. Take it. Texans at Raiders. Raiders 7-point favorites off a bye. Both teams off a bye, I believe. I think Raiders right the ship. We saw more resurgence of the offense against Kansas City. And I think more is to continue. I'm going with 30-16 over Texans. Seahawks at Chargers. Chargers 6-point favorites. It looked ugly versus the Broncos. The offense, I mean, but the Seahawks hasn't been pretty, but they've been getting it done as well. I like what Gino's been doing. I like Kenneth Walker. But Austin Eckler has done really well as of late, so thanks to this will be a tight game, 23-20. Chargers win. Interesting. Chiefs at 49ers. Chiefs 2.5-point favorites. Despite blowing the lead, they still only held the Bills 24 points. '49ers, I mean, it's always different. Credit they were out most of their defense on Sunday. I mean, well, let's see. Injury report really quick. It sounds like Bosa, Trent Williams, and many others will be back. Feels like the 49ers need this win, though. Going 26-21, 49ers at home. Sunday Night Football. Steelers at Dolphins. Dolphins 7-point favorites. Steelers. So Tua is expected to be back. Said so. It sounds like it may be Tua versus Kenny Pickett. Sunday night. Talk about two young studs. Look, Trubisky made some good plays. In reality, it was only 20 points. If Tua is healthy, those playmakers on the Dolphins offense, Jalen Waddle, Tua, or Tyreek Hill, Gesicki, I mean, studs. They need to get a win. Get back on track. 24-18 in Miami. And the cap off week 7. Bears at Patriots. Patriots 8-point favorites at home. Sounds like Mac Jones may come back for Monday. Look, Patriots, I say they get it done. Against Bears, Justin Fields, the offense, I just don't trust as a whole. 28. 21. Patriots win. All right, well, that was all for the Field podcast for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, went over a lot today. Over an hour. So hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, if you like this video, click that like button in the corner, leave a thumbs up. thank you all. I'll see you guys next week. And again, for my pro wrestling fans, sorry, but you will get a review tomorrow. But yeah, thank you. Be safe. Adios. Peace.